Today I want to show my team's RailsRumble entry, CrowdTranslator.com. CrowdTranslator is a community translation engine for website owners. Translation of websites is normally a difficult and at times an expensive operation, but CrowdTranslator lets you leverage your existing user base to translate your site. Let's see how it works. I can click the Get Started link, and then I've already made an account, so I'm just going to sign in. And then we go back and we can see I've created a couple different sites here. I'm going to go ahead and add my company's portfolio site. I'm going to say that the entries can be auto-approved, which means anytime someone translates a section of text, it will automatically show up. And you do have to be careful with this option, especially for business content. I'm going to pick my selector, and that means anything that matches this selector, paragraph tags, LIs, so forth, and then anything with the CT class will be enabled as editable in the translation mode. You can also explicitly say only things with the CT class, or you can specify your own selector. I'm just going to leave the default for now. So I went ahead and created it, and then what we can do is we can either use the translator button, or we can copy this into our page, and that'll give us this toolbar down here on our page. So let me just go ahead and do that. Now, unfortunately, due to a bug that we didn't catch until we'd already deployed our final RailsRumble version, you have to include jQuery before you include the CrowdTranslator.js, and it'll go ahead and load that in non-conflict mode. And then you have to call the load function in a set timeout. If you do that, it should work. So I've gone ahead and set this up on my portfolio site, and normally when you load the page, it'll bring up this translate toolbar down here, and then you go ahead and select the language you want to translate into, and since nothing's been translated, it just stays in English. And then I can click this enable edit mode, and the paragraphs that haven't been translated yet show up in yellow. So if I click on a paragraph, it'll bring up this box, and I can go ahead and select section, the text from above. Since I don't speak Spanish, I can dump it into Google Translate just as an example, and then I can paste it back in, and then I can go ahead and say create new translation. So that gets added, and then since then we can vote on the translations. So I can go, I'm the only one, but I can vote it up once. And then when I click out, you'll see that it loads it back in Spanish. And then if I disable, you can see that it stays like that. And you'll notice when I'm in edit mode that if it's already been translated, it shows in green. We also support things like links. So you'll notice that in this paragraph there's a link, and it gets replaced with a token that's link 1, which is the first link in the paragraph, and then the text in it. So again, I can dump this into Google Translate, and it translates the inner text as well. So if I drop this back in, create it, sorry, you have to match it exactly. So we need a lowercase, create it, and then it preserved the link. Now, people have been translating our example site, so you'll notice we can switch on any of these pages, and most of the text that's translatable switches. We have support for a lot of languages, and overall it just makes the translation of your site very easy. While unfortunately everything's not working exactly as we planned, take a look and let us know what you think. We are planning on continuing to develop on the site.